cash now. AfriMoney, quick and easy.
Good to see your face again. It's been a very crazy day. The joyous feeling in the air when rain falls on a sunny day.
Happy, yeah. Let the stars, let the roll.
Enjoy life's little pleasures with Maltina. Maltina, share happiness.
As mama, I always want waiting best for me picking them, especially when it comes out waiting them for eat and drink. Now this make I always they choose Sarah juice because they make come from with local foods them and nutritious and it gets less sugar than the other drinks them. Not to me say so.
We lab test show say Sierra juice gets 50% less sugar than the other drinks them na the market.
Because we mama they know waiting best for we picking them, now you make we always they choose Sierra juice. Sierra juice and nutritious, it healthy and it's sweet. Sierra juice, not the taste of Salome.
Welcome back, and a reminder that this is Wakeup Sierra Leone on AYV Television and Radio in Freetown, Sierra Leone. Now today on our health tips, we're talking about something simple but very important to our health: drinking enough water. Water helps the body stay hydrated, improves digestion, keeps the skin healthy, and helps us stay active and focused throughout the day. As temperatures rise and we go about our daily activities, drinking clean and safe water is one of the best ways to protect our health.
Hello and welcome to L Tips, coming to you every day here on our morning show, Wake Up Sierra Leone on AOIV TV. I am Edema Conte. L Tips provides you with important health information that ensures a healthy living. In today's edition, we are looking at the importance of water to the body.
Water is vital to our health. It plays a key role in many of our body's functions, including bringing nutrients to the cells, getting rid of waste, protecting joints and organs, and maintaining body temperature. Water should almost always be your go-to beverage. But what are the benefits of drinking water? Water regulates body temperature, moistens tissues in the eyes, nose, and mouth, protects body organs and tissues, carries nutrients and oxygen to the cells, lubricates joints, lessens body burden on the kidneys and liver by flushing out waste products, and also dissolves minerals and nutrients to make them accessible to your body. How many times should you drink water? The amount of water you should drink vary depending on your activity level, health condition, height and weight, gender, and other factors. Here are some general guidelines according to the Institute of Medicine. It is recommended that men should drink 13 cups, that's about 3 liters of water each day. Women are recommended to drink 9 cups, just over 2 liters of water each day. Pregnant women should drink 10 cups of water daily, and breastfeeding women should drink 12 cups. Kids and teens should drink 6 to 7 cups of water a day. Again, this all depends on the activity level, age, weight, etc. Eating fresh fruits and vegetables that are full of water helps with this daily water intake as well. For guidelines specific to you, ask your doctor or dietitian what they recommend.
That's all for today's L Tips on Wake Up Sierra Leone. Don't forget, water is life. I am Edima Conte. Back to you in the studio.
All right, many thanks for that report, Edima Conte. Now, this morning, we're going to discuss the aftermath of the All People's Congress lower-level rerun elections held over the weekend across the country. This following the initial lower-level elections in February 2026, which the Political Parties Regulation Commission reviewed 72 ward petition across 37 constituencies.
In late May 2026, the PPRC issued its final verdicts, which says the PPRC sustained the rerun of disputed elections in wards 47, 48, and 49, constituency 116 Western Area, ordering the use of the February 12, 2026 voter list. The Commission overturned previous invalidations in Ward 413, constituency 118, and Ward 431, constituency 125, declaring the original outcomes valid because alleged violence and delays did not materially disrupt the voting process.
And of course, as a result of that, the PPRC mandated new rerun in several other wards due to confirmed procedural breaches, localized violence, and unauthorized changes of polling venues. These reruns were held over the weekend, conducted in several parts of the country. Reporters were in some of the places where the reruns took place. They said despite early tensions and disruptions, the process eventually concluded without further major complications. So this morning, to discuss whether or not due processes were followed and plans by the APC for upcoming elections, including their national convention, we have CDI Atunis, the National Publicity Secretary of the APC. And also in our studios, we have Lucien Momo, Director of External Relations and Director of External Relations at the Political Parties Regulation Commission. Good morning, gentlemen. Welcome to AYV. Yes, Mr. Tunis, let's start off with you. You know, the rerun elections were ordered after allegations of violence, you know, after procedural breaches, after unauthorized venue changes that happened in some wards. And we asked the last time, and I want to ask again, does the APC accept that these problems, you know, exposed the weaknesses in, you know, the elections that were conducted in February, and were those concerns addressed in these rerun elections?
No, we don't think so. We feel that, in fact, it is the direct opposite. It shows how the democratic process, the internal democracies within the APC itself is are strengthened, and how much the people, the membership of the party understands what their rights are and what the constitutional provisions are. You know, a lot of the issues that we are uncovering, you know, now you know, are not strange. Some are expected, some are not. But in the process, we continue to, you know, strengthen our democratic processes. We review our democratic processes, and then we identify areas wherein amendments probably need to be made in the future. But we don't think in any way that this will undermine, or this only shows weaknesses within the processes themselves.
Now, some party supporters have argued that, the rerun delayed the momentum ahead of the APC National Convention. Is the party worried that, prolonged internal dispute, could affect, unity within the party going into 2020? I'm asking because the constitution of the APC says all of this should be settled 2 years before the general elections.
We are concerned that we are way behind time, definitely, because by now we should have completed our National Delegates Conference and we should have elected our presidential candidate as per the original calendar of stipulated in our constitution. But the challenges, the petitions, the issues, that are coming up now are also important to be trashed out, because, what they'll do is, they ensure transparency within the democratic process. And once you have transparencies within democratic process, that builds confidence and then also trust among the membership of the party. And at the end of the day, our goal is for the outcome to be accepted by all. So yes, the delay is painful, but then we need to get it right. So at the end of the day, we'll all be together as a united party.
And the PPRC overturned, several earlier on invalidations that were made or allegations within the party. The PPRC said no, APC followed the due process. I am concerned, does the APC see this as a proof that, some complaints within, the party or some petitions that were made, as against the February elections were politically motivated rather than actual concerns?
Well, I mean, for us, the whole essence is people making use of, the provisions, the rights given to them by the constitution of the party, by the laws of Sierra Leone, the national constitution, the PPRC Act. However, as in always, you'll have people who will take advantage of those processes, without, even following due process and without even having evidence to back up whatever challenges that they took either to the IECB or to the PPRC. And also, it is the manner in which we used both laws, our internal laws and the national laws, to ensure that, people were given the rights that they deserve. Some were given rights by the IECB, and then when they went to the PPRC found out that no, we don't have enough evidence to support whatever decision that was made, so we don't think this is right. And for us, we are happy that we went through all of those processes. It only shows how committed we are as a political party to ensure that people understand that for us in the leadership of the party, we just want to make sure that things are done right. We are challenging ECSL on doing things wrong. We don't want to do what we are challenging the ECSL for. We want to get it right internally. So at the end of the day, our internal mechanisms can be used as an example to strengthen even the external politics of this country.
At the backdrop of the February elections, albeit on social media, we saw, intending aspirants, flag bearers of the APC claiming victory, at the backdrop of that elections. Are we going to see the same, for these rerun elections?
But I don't know how exactly that makes sense. As someone who has been around the politics of this country for a while, and even understanding, the way flag bearers are elected, I don't think it makes sense for anyone to claim victory at this stage of a democratic process, because we have not even started putting together delegates yet. That process starts from the constituency level, which is where we start now compiling the delegates. So for anyone to claim at this stage that they won. I think, that must be, propaganda just to show strength or something, but it is not realistic.
Are you concerned that the party might be slammed with further petitions regarding the recently concluded elections?
Oh yes, because we had challenges, visible ones in some areas. Okay, so we conducted 65 elections, ward elections across the country. And as it is now, we've had visible complaints from 7 for now. That number might increase. But, the fact of the matter is we have also now taken care of the bulk of what we had. Whatever, we get back from the field, we'll look at, the substance of the petitions, and then we'll combine that with the reports that will come from the IEMC, and then we'll take action. But for the visible problems that we saw, because some of us were in the field, we monitored the elections, we have to take actions because people are deliberately delaying the progress of the party, because the more we are unable to conclude these elections, the more delays we have to move to the next phase of the internal democracies, and we don't think we want that.
When you say people are deliberately delaying the progress of the party, who are these people you're referring to?
Clearly you have some members who, were violent. You had people who tried to manipulate the process. We saw that people were caught trying to manipulate the process. We saw all of those in some areas, not all. The majority of, the elections came out successful, peaceful. Yes, there were delays, in the commencement of the elections, but then they were concluded and the results were tabulated. We are waiting for the official results from the IEMC, but I can safely say that over 50 or so were conducted peacefully.
How many were conducted in total?
65.
Okay, so doesn't the party have mechanisms in place to deter these people, these elements that perpetrate such things during your internal elections? We
do, and that is why we were successful in concluding, over 50 or so elections. But when you have certain, isolated places and you have, certain isolated incidents, you just wait to ensure that you get the full details and then the actual actions are taken against those who are the perpetrators.
I'd have to say some of your supporters do believe that the members of the executive, do have flag bearer aspirants that they're supporting. And for some reason, some of these, and well, I might say most of these flag bearer aspirants do think that if they should win eventually at the convention, they should be able to gain control right from the lower level stage and then go into the constituency elections before getting to the convention. But it is believed by some of your supporters that executive members are aligning themselves with some or certain flag bearer aspirants, and thus the reason for some of the violent clashes in these elections. What can you say to that?
Well, I will not deny that, but I'll also say that we in the executive, a good number of us, I'm a part of the executive, we have made it very clear that will allow the process to be transparent and be done on a level playing field. And that is why some of us will not condone the things that we are getting from the field, and we are allowing the process, to go through, the prescribed structures, whether through the internal mechanisms within the party or even at the PPRC, so that people at the end of the day will have the confidence that what they were promised is indeed what we did. Of course, this is democracy. People have the right to support whoever they want to support, but at the same time, we will not allow those rights to interfere with the processes that will allow the whole, electioneering mechanisms to be fair, so that at the end of the day, if someone wins, we know the person won genuinely, and if someone loses, they will understand that they lost genuinely. So that is what we want to ensure happens in the APC. And whatever we can do, whether with the delays, we'll have to make sure that the process is fair, the process is transparent, and at the end of the day, we are held accountable, for what transpired throughout this internal democratic process.
Okay, let me bring you in, Lucien. So from the PPRC's perspective, I'm sure you had observers on the ground. Would you say that the APC on elections complied with the PPRC Act of 2022 and their own party's constitution?
Well, of course, these reruns are done in tandem with the constitution of the APC of 2022 and the rules and regulations of the All People's Congress 2022. And from our observation, I was the team lead for the Western area. We deployed staff across the country. And from the report we had is that the elections went on peacefully to a great extent. There were disruptions, and I will just cite few in the Western area. For example, at the ARC, the elections did not start on time because of there were disagreements. Between one party was saying that the original contenders of that elections have stepped down, and they wanted to bring in new contenders. So that was the issues that they had. And at Kulafaya Shetin, at Wakeup, there were also, they stopped, confrontation after confrontation. One of the issue that they had around 4 in the afternoon was that 3 people came to vote. They've already voted for them, and there was this back and forth with them, and there was an election, also a rerun in constituency 116 that did not happen, because of confrontation, violence, and the likes. But in a whole, I want to commend the IEMC, for them to be able to succumb to those types of pressure, from even honorable members of parliament. And at one point I had to tell an honorable member of parliament, you don't have any business in these elections, please leave. And there were confrontation between some members and the police, wherein I saw physical confrontation between members, physical confrontation between members of the party and also the police. But in a whole, the process was relatively peaceful, even though there are these, pockets, isolated incidents. Yes, those isolated incidents of violence or confrontation.
Okay, so as we speak this morning, has the PPRC received any petitions so far regarding the reruns?
We will not receive any petition because the law is very clear.
Okay.
When you participate in an elections in the APC, you firstly go. If they come, we'll send them to their party. Okay. Because what we're doing is to ensure that we strengthen internal structures within political parties. We don't want people to bypass, their internal structures. And in the APC constitution, if you have an issue, if you fail to address it internally, you go external, it's anti-party activity. It's, the consequences are maybe suspension or maybe you're asked out of the party. So what we're doing as a commission is to ensure that these structures, that is now the IECB, the IEMC is the ones like the ECSL, and the IECB is like the High Court, who will have to deal with those internal complaints, because the IEMC is the Independent Elections Management Committee. The IECB is the Internal Elections Complaints Board. They deal with elections issues, complaints, petitions. So when they've exhausted the IECB, if they are not satisfied with the outcome, and then they can come to us. Because before now, for the February 21st elections, the IECB received almost about 100 and something complaints. Few people, about 60% to 70% of those people were happy with the outcome of the IECB, and the 72 petitions that came to us, are people, one of those were not petition. One, the IMC had already cancelled 116. The 116 was just a concern about the Leone, which voter list is to be used, because the original voter list was 1,600 and something, and the voter list that appeared on the 21st was about 1,900 and something. So the Honorable Member of Parliament was concerned about which list are they going to use and the venues that they will use last Saturday. So we have to clear all of those. If you look at that was the first one in our report, you know, that the 12th February 2026, you know, voter register was the register that they should use.
Why was that decision considered, you know, necessary for credibility and fairness, using the February 12 voter list?
Initially, there was a date, you know, given by the All People's Congress for the rerun. They were supposed to do this rerun, I think, on the 4th of April, but there were concerns that came. So what we did was that, okay, extend to February 12, and the voter list of February 12 is going to be the valid one. Because we've seen, like I said, in 116, the original voter list that was published on the 12th was 1,600 and something. But the list that appeared, you know, for the elections was 1,900 and something. So, and there are other constituencies where names were deleted, and there are some other names were added. So what we said was that if going forward, because this is the most tricky ones of the elections, the world elections. You know, these elections are elections where more people participate. Like CD was saying, you now generate from the world. It's going to be easy after the world elections because you now know the delegates. In each of the executive, there are a number of positions that are qualified to be delegates going forward to constituency elections. And when they go to constituency elections, the constituency now will be the delegates moving forward. And then when they go to districts, the constituency will be the delegates that will vote to districts. And when they go to the regions, there are people who are delegates from the constituency, from the district, going forward to the national elections for the national officers. You have people from all levels that are already qualified. I think the chairman, the vice chairman, the women's leader, the youth leader, and I think the organizing secretary. So those are the delegates prescribed for, you know, in the constitution of the All People's Congress.
Lucian, some APC supporters accuse the PPRC of interfering too deeply into the internal party's affair. How do you respond to concerns of regulatory overreach? You know, some of these concerns that were raised that led to the petition were concerns first brought up between the independent body within the party responsible for those petitions, and they were overturned by the PPRC. Isn't this an overstretch of, you know, interfering with the internal party politics or dynamics of the APC?
Sections 12 of the Political Parties Act mandates us to mediate when there are issues within political parties. Even if we are not called, when we foresee problems in political parties, you know, the 2002 was different. It says when approached by the leadership, you know, of a political party. But now the 2022 Act states that we can mediate. And part of if you look at the Constitution again, Section 35(2), you know, says political parties must follow democratic principles. Democratic principles means that they must go by their constitution. They must go by their rules and regulations. So if there are aggrieved people in a political party that are aggrieved with whatever decision of the party after they've exhausted their internal structures, they have liberty to come to the PPRC. And if they are also not agreeable to our decision, they can go to the Supreme Court. So we are not interfering in any way into the internal regulatory system of political parties. If you listen to most of the practitioners and even the executive of the political party, they were happy with the decision of the PPRC. Mind you, when some members went to the IECB, some other people were not called in. For example, issues dealing with voter register. Issue of voter registration is the sole responsibility of the National Secretariat, headed by the National Secretary General. In some instances, wherein IECB dealt with those issues, they did not bring in the National Secretariat into the fray because they have the register. So you cannot take a decision of a body who have the register, the odium patrem rules in law, the other side must be had. If there is an issue with the register, there is an issue with the venue, which is the sole responsibility of the National Secretariat. There are some instances, for example, in McKinney, there are 3 venues. They changed the venue without recourse to the National Secretariat. That brought problems. So we had to...
the venue?
The IECB, in their ruling, said no, even before the elections. In some instances, they held stakeholders meeting, which brought in the National Secretariat and key stakeholders in those particular districts, and they agreed that they should change. For Uncle School at New England View, the original venue was Omolebu School. But on the day of the election, there was a mock exam. Okay. They met and decided to move to Uncle School, which is not too far from Omolebu School. Mm-hmm. What we did in that instance, the IECB or the IAMC initially wanted to cancel the elections. But what happened? From our own interrogation and evidence brought forward to the commission, the elections went on. The only issue was with a woman who was prevented from contesting for the position of the PRO. That is why on Saturday there was only one election that was held at that particular center for the position of the PRO. Even on the day, the lady was not there until after 10. They waited. And then they said, if it's 12, she's not here, we'll continue the election, but her face will be on the ballot. You know. Mm-hmm. So those are some of the issues that we have to deal with. And with the PPRC, with the powers of the High Court, we can squash decisions of structures in political parties if those decisions, you know, are not correct.
Now, some of the ward elections that happened, the key concerns there were insecurity, issues of violence. Within the reports PPRC came out with, there were instances where the PPRC saw that some of the violence that happened were not commensurate or at par with other areas, and as such, some of those results were allowed to go on. During these recon elections, you know, some of those areas had recon election because of violence. Did you observe peace and tranquility this time around?
Well, if you see 72 elections conducted, over 80%, you know, we are concluded. Violence, there can be violence out of the polling center, but the violence do not meet the threshold, you know, to cancel an elections. You know, there will be disagreements out of the polling center, but those disagreements were out of the polling center. There was no, they did not cut away with boxes. I can remember on the 21st of February, I was called that an honorable member of parliament went there, break boxes and blah, blah, blah. I immediately went there. There were no broken boxes. The only thing at that moment, why we had to stay with the decision of the IECB is that I was there, the PO was not in, the PO went away. And when he was called, he said he went to pray. You had the responsibility to perform and you abandoned your responsibility. So, in such, that is why that election, you know, was on, because it was not concluded on that particular day. Mm-hmm. So, where we know, for example, at Kube, my team went to Kube, we met them, there were disagreements outside, but they were voting. Disagreements about not why you can't press poster now on the day of the elections. The issue was that the APC, the rules and regulations of the APC allowed people to enter as candidates almost until the last day. So And then there were no ballot paper with faces. They used symbols. So some people knew their symbol on the day. They had to campaign. You had to tell your members, oh, my symbol is the house, or my symbol is car, or my symbol is a motorbike. So those were some of the issues. So I believe going forward, the All People's Congress would have learned now that they should have cut-off time so that people will be able, to campaign and stop campaign, know the time to stop campaign.
Sidi, let me bring you in. How important are these low-level structures to APC's broader 2028 electoral strategy?
Well, they are important because this is where we start setting up the structures of the party. So these elections at world level, are to elect the executives that will oversee the functions of the party at the world level. So this is, the granular part of our, internal structures, because that is where the bulk of the population is, which is why, in fact, it is only at this level of our electioneering process wherein the membership, the entire membership of the party, as long as you have been a member of the APC in good standing for more than 1 year, you are allowed to vote in these particular elections. After these, only delegates will vote. So this is really the start of us putting together our internal structures, those representatives that will ensure that we strengthen ourselves, we prepare ourselves ahead of 2028. So this is the start of that process. It is where we start, now setting up, up to leading to where we elect our presidential candidate. So if we do not complete this, then it will be impossible for us to proceed to even having a presidential candidate.
What are usually the causes of these violent clashes?
Well, mostly, several things. Misunderstanding, trust, lack of trust, in the entire process, and also the vigilance, I would say, because some people are so vigilant that if they suspect even a minute,
There's nothing like minute in this, in these elections.
If they suspect, something unusual, they want to know why, this unusual act is happening. So, arguments will start, and then, of course, but we also have issues wherein people question the register. Some areas thought that they've messed with the register, and we have to investigate that as an executive, because we are given a clear directive by the PPRC, even by their last ruling, as to which register to use or which register they recognize. In this whole process, we have been in and out of the PPRC, and we've had series of directives from them, in addressing some of the petitions that they received. And as an executive, we are bound to go by those directives. So we have to look into all of those issues that came from the field, where we felt people went against, the rules, even our own rules. I will take action.
So have you concluded the investigations with regards to the concerns raised?
We are meeting today. By 11, we'll meet as an executive. We'll meet with the IEMC, and we'll receive full report from them, from the field. And then we are also engaging stakeholders from areas where we had challenges. Then we'll have full view of what really transpired during those elections, and then we'll take it from there.
Do you consider the All People's Congress as a formidable opposition as we speak this morning?
We have been, and, as much as, we have our internal, rancors, but our party is structured in a way we have several programs, we have several teams that are set up to look at different, issues, the national issues, the internal party issues. So you have people, for example, focused on addressing national issues that are not involved with all of these internal democratic processes that we are on, which is why we have been able to, continue to address issues that are of national concerns, even where we are focused also on addressing, our internal party democracies. We have to, under the circumstances that we have been operating as an opposition, I would say yes, we have been a very formidable opposition.
Well, it is the view of many Sierra Leoneans that probably the All People's Congress, I mean, you have so much on your plate internally as a political party that you cannot really pay attention to what's happening nationally and make the necessary input you should as an opposition is expected to.
Well, we have been. I mean, if
How
you look,
so?
Yeah, we have been. I mean, if you look at the topical national issues, we have been leading on several of them. In fact, you take, for example, the issues of drugs. When the Kush issue became, topical in this country, we started, ringing the alarm bells even before others picked it up. When the issue of, the drug cartel issue started, we started ringing the bell, and now you're seeing on the international news, how much that is being an embarrassment to this country. When the issue of the prices of commodities, the fuel prices, we always rang the bell. And we've been having consistent monthly press conferences wherein we've addressed these national issues through our members of parliament. So yes, we have a lot to do internally, but that did not, of course, take our eyes off the ball in addressing national issues.
Well, it's no secret that the Sierra Leone People's Party, which is the party in governance, well, they're far ahead when it comes to their internal elections, what they should do, preparing ahead of the 2028 elections. Are you preparing to win the 2028 elections, or are you just fulfilling what the Constitution says you must do?
I mean, in 2023, it was even, heading into 2023 was even tougher for us than it is now. To a point that our presidential candidate was dragged to court, repeatedly. I would say almost every APC executive or senior stakeholder in the APC either saw, the confines of Pademba Road, CID, or the courts of this country. We only concluded our National Delegates Conference about 3 months to the national elections. But, we were still not defeated in 2023. I will safely say that with no hesitation.
So are you saying the elections, what happened, but it is not your candidate that is in State House? It
is not, but we all know, that is what led us to Bintumani, So, I mean, I'm only saying that, it will seem, yes, we are not ready because we have not concluded our internal structures yet, but I'll tell you, even with all of these challenges we are facing with setting up our internal structures, we are also preparing for the 2028 elections. Even with these, we know the things we need to put in place, and we have people working on those areas.
Speaking of Bintumani, CD, it begs me to ask, what's the relationship like between the current executive of the All People's Congress and the 2023 flag bearer aspirant, Dr. Samoa Matthew Wilson Kamara, as we speak?
Well, I mean, for the executive is open to every member of the APC. Our doors are always open. Where there is need for us to engage with our membership, we engage. There are people in the executive who constantly engage with the 2023 flag bearer aspirants and the running mates. We have the Elders Council who are constantly in touch with him. So, I mean, there is nothing really strange about that.
And what's the relationship like?
We feel that, we have good relationship. There is no malice between the National Executive and Dr. Samara Kamara. We have said repeatedly, and I'll say this again this morning, he's welcome to the party office anytime. He's welcome to run if he wants to run for the 2026.
Is he qualified?
He's qualified to run. Of course, he's a member of the party. I don't know if he has verified, to bring his membership status to date, but he's qualified as far as I know. He's been our presidential.
Talking about him being welcome to the party office. Sorry, I'm directing you. But talking about him being welcome to the party office, we all saw, well, albeit on social media, when the flag bearer Samora Kamara was asked to hand over the keys to his office at the party office. Do you think he would want to come to that party office?
I don't know if he was asked to
What really happened?
To hand over the keys to the party office.
Okay.
We have a constitution, you understand? And the provisions of the constitutions are very clear as to offices that exist within the party. So there is the office of the leader and the office of the deputy leader. Now the constitution of the APC says those offices will exist for a certain period of time. Like, for example, okay, so let us even begin with the occupants of those offices. Those offices only exist when we go to the National Delegates Conference and elect a presidential candidate. So the moment we elect the presidential candidate, the office of the leader exists, and the presidential candidate becomes the leader of the party. When the running mate is appointed, the office of the running mate will then exist, and then the running mate, the office of the deputy leader will then exist, and the running mate becomes the deputy leader of the party. Now, after the general elections, if they are elected president and vice president, then those offices will continue. The office of the leader will continue and the deputy leader will continue respectively. However, in an instance where they do not win the elections, 6 months after the pronouncement of the president by the ECSL, those offices will cease to exist, regardless of whether those elections results are challenged in the Supreme Court. That is the provision of the APC Constitution. So it is not any individual that shut down the leadership of Dr. Samara Kamara. It is constitutional provision. And this is what people have to understand. It is the office itself that ceased to exist. So if there is no office, how can you have an occupant? So that is the constitutional provision. So if the office of the leader is no longer in existence, how can you have an occupant as leader of the party when the constitution says the office doesn't exist 6 months after, regardless of whether the elections are challenged in the Supreme Court?
Okay, but many of your party supporters of the notion that without the involvement, or should I say the participation of Samora Kamara actively in the APC's strategy leading up to the 2028 elections, it might be very difficult for the APC. Many people believe that Samora Kamara do hold the grassroots.
I don't think so. Okay. I mean, I don't want to have this session about Dr. Samora Kamara, but that is not, that when you follow what is happening now, if you look at our, world elections, the APC is a party that is not controlled by one person. I'll tell you that the day the APC elects another flag bearer, the people will move. They will rally behind that flag bearer. Our responsibility is to make the process free, fair, and credible for all to be able to participate. What we will not do is to sit, fold our arms, and think that our winning depends only on one individual. No, that will not do. Our doors are open for everyone to come in, but we will not start to, tailor the process to suit one individual over others. No, all of those who are qualified to run for flag bearer aspirant, will encourage them to run for the position. The one who is elected by the delegate will be elected. If, as you are stating now, that Dr. Samra Kamara commands enormous lead within the party, then I'll encourage him to come and run. If indeed it is true, he'll win then. It will not be difficult for him to win the delegates. So let him come and join the process and run like the others, and so that he'll have the opportunity to face the delegates, and then he'll be elected.
Mr. Tunis, there were reports of tensions, during this Leone election. Although the process later stabilized, and you've spoken that the IEMC will meet and bring report. Will the report capture those tensions, and are we going to see, disciplinary actions taken against individuals who were trying to raise tensions within those electoral centers during this Leone election? Absolutely.
I mean, that is why we are waiting for the reports. Of course, we have preliminary reports, but then you see images, you see videos on social media, but then you want to get to the bottom of what really happened, how, it got to that point, and you don't want to just go by social media account, because I mean, we all know the creativity around social media these days. Somebody will post an old video and, claim that it is the current incident. So we'll wait for the report officially, and then we'll use our internal party structures to, mount our own investigation. And then thereafter, we'll take the necessary actions against those who will be found wanting.
And speaking on timeline, can the APC realistically complete all, pending internal processes and elections, and organize a credible national convention within the stipulated time? I'm asking because even the executive we have now, are running above their time. Are we going to have the convention before, the stipulated time? Although we are still...
we are already behind the stipulated time, so that is not realistic anymore.
Is there a new timeline?
What I can say for sure is the moment we conclude the wards, all others will be easier, like Lucian stated earlier, because then now the numbers will be narrower. Then the processes will be, easier than they are now. And then, we'll be able to conclude the future elections, within the time frame. And then we'll be able to have a national delegates conference. Our goal is to conclude this year, and we will. And we'll have our presidential candidates elected, and then we'll start, our national campaign immediately. So that is really what we are focusing on. For us, of course, as national executive, the moment our time elapses, we will have the structure continue. That directive has already been given by the PPRC a few weeks ago, so we will have a smooth transition. The functions of the party will continue. You have a body that will ensure that they continue with the preparation leading up to the National Delegates Conference.
And speaking, on the build up to the National Delegates Conference, and the current executive that you serve, do you have intentions of running for the same position going forward?
No, I will not be running for
any position at all?
Possibly, but not national publicity sexy.
So what position are you considering?
Maybe some definitely something
higher.
Definitely something higher.
Right, Lucia, let me bring you in.
Definitely
quickly.
something higher.
Based on the Commission's, observation of the weekend Leone election, has APC restored, confidence in its internal democratic processes? I mean, this is the first election post the new constitution. Do you think they are getting it right?
Well, of course, this is a test, because before now it was election, but now it's all election. And as CD said, they've started receiving, is aware of petitions being sent to IECB to look at what happened on Saturday. It will interest you that before now people were not too interested, in these elections. What they were interested in is constituency elections, district elections, and national officers elections, and the National Delegates Conference. But you will see there was a petitioner from Gambia, who testified in Timne. Because what we do when we hold our petition is that we do not hold those hearings in English. We hold those hearings in Creole, and the language you are comfortable to express yourself in. So there was this guy from Gambia who testified to an interpreter, in Temini. So that is to say, the grassroots people are now coming. Before now, those people were prevented. I can recall after the 2012 elections, we were going around, bringing the grassroots to political leaders. And there was this guy who came up to speak, and someone asked him, would I ask you for the cow planner? But now you see people coming forward, and that is the beauty of democracy. That is to say, the APC is now, fully, responding to 35(2) of the Constitution of Sierra Leone 1991, Act number 6 of 1991.
Lucia, what should other political parties learn from the APC Leone process? I know other political parties also will be going into the elections. What should they learn from APC's position?
Well, of course, there are provisions, in the rules and regulations. Before now, political parties were just using constitution. But when we started dealing with the SLPP, we saw that the leaders, at that time they have chairman and leader, were so powerful that a leader would just come, cancel elections, and say, no, these are the people who were supposed to be A, B, and C. So what we did, the SLPP, we asked them to have rules and regulations. And then when the APC was doing this, their constitution, we also told them, you need rules and regulations. These rules and regulations is to protect the membership of the party. That is why you will see we had to overturn some of the decisions of the IECB, because the rules and regulations did not empower them to do A, B, C, and D. So political parties, you see, the NGC is also on their lower level elections. Issues came, we dealt with those issues, and they moved on. I saw recently a press release from the NGC, informing people of the vacancies that they're supposed to go and vote for. I think it should be, they should now go to regional or national level before going to the NDC. So all of the other political parties, we are currently working with some other political parties who are developing their rules and regulations. We will soon also gazette the reviewed constitution and rules and regulations of UP. Those documents are with us. We'll send them to the government printer. When we get them back, we'll send the documents to them for their final review, and then we'll gazette. So you see, progress is being made within political parties. The leaders of the political parties are no longer the owners of those political parties, because the leadership of those political parties, they might be about 30 or 40. But the membership of those political parties are thousands of people. So those constitution and rules and regulations, are intended to protect the membership of political parties. That is why you see people are coming out with petitions, to challenge their leaders that no, this was not done correctly. This is how the law says it should be done. Before now, it's only the SFPP that we are seeing when they have issues. I talk in Creole. SFPP inside and get issue. The constitution always in their pockets. APC self now, the same thing that happened. They now move around with their rules and regulations. They now move around with their constitution. That is what we want. That is the beauty, of democracy. You don't become a member of a political party without knowing the rules or the constitution of that political party. Before now, then they pass ball over man the head, underman the waist. They know they tell them what's in the constitution. They tell them what they want them to know. But now the people, most of them know what is in their constitution. When we move to constituency level, it's another ball game. They will also move away now from the ward rules and they go to the constituency rules.
You stated, and CD rightly also mentioned that the tensions we are seeing now is because of the large numbers of voters, involved at these ward levels. But I am concerned. I'm not looking at the number, but the fact that, this is the first elections after the new APC constitution. And it is going to be a learning curve, not only for the APC, but also for voters who are involved. For example, most of these ward members, this is their first time voting for their ward representatives who are going to vote for constituency representatives. Will the PPRC be looking, at the national convention or the processes leading to the national convention with a particular threshold to say, we expect APC to meet this threshold?
Well, their constitution gave them threshold. Moving from ward, the constitution states those people in those wards that are eligible, they are delegates, to vote the constituency executive. Not that they were not voting before. The beauty now of the two political parties, the two old political parties, is now that they now register members, they now use cards in those elections. Before now, just make yourself available, and if you identify that you are in that ward, you participate. But what we saw was that there are always problems. If I know Mattia is not voting for my candidate, and I am to verify Mattia as a member of this ward, I will say he is not a member of this board. But now there's a register. There are photos on the register. You can even scan the code, the barcode on those voter ID cards, and the detail of the individual will pop up. For example, there is a peculiar issue in constituency 124. If you look at our directives, you will see that two people who are not ordinary residents, they won the elections. We have to overturn their winning and give the winning to those who came second, because those issues came, and we had to look at the Public Elections Act, which speaks about residency, the clause, and then we went to the first schedule of the act, to which defines residency. One was residing at Sitop Street. Sitop Street is under 427. The other at Allentown, which is way far from 428 in constituency 124. So all of these, put together, builds the confidence of the membership, of political parties. This again will also build the confidence, because as Siri was saying, most of these issues were trust issues. We not believe now. I don't change this register. Okay, we have our own register of the 12. Why is she calling cross-check? And at some point, one presiding officer was saying, no, you cannot cross-check. I said, no, allow them to cross-check with their own register. The thing is, when you give people the opportunity to protest, you listen to them, they will have confidence in the process. And when I went there, they were peaceful. They were in agreement. When they call Mohamed Kamara, they will check. Mohamed Kamara, they tick, to make sure that another Mohamed Kamara do not come, and because they all have their register. They work with them, and they even printed those register in color. So supposing someone cannot say Mattia is black, and in this register Mattia is fair in complexion. So that's the beauty people are able to challenge. But what I'm saying, or what the commission is saying, when you are challenging, issues, challenge in tandem with your rules and regulations or your constitution. Avoid violence. Violence will take you nowhere. As we all know, time is not of the essence. Time is not friendly with the APC. Those that are in office have to ensure that they go to National Delegate Conference by August this year. If not, we'll go to a second directive that we gave them when we are ruling on the issue brought to us by Honorable and Mami and Kamara.
Cindy, let me bring you in quickly. Whilst we talk about time, we talk about so many things to be done within a time frame. What should be the APC's priority now? Is it party unity? Is it convention preparation? Or is it grassroots reconciliation? I'm asking this because I know we can't, deal with them individually. It's like a web. But what should be the priority now, to ensure that the party is united going into the 2028 elections?
I don't think we are divided. For me, I always say disagreement does not mean disunity. It doesn't mean because someone does not agree with a particular position, it means the party hates that person. No, that is not our responsibility as a political party to ensure that we give people what they want. No. Our responsibility as a party is to be able to run the party fairly, transparently, and give every member the rights, given to them by the constitution of the party and the constitution of Sierra Leone. And I don't think we have defaulted on that as a political party. So that is our focus. It is the grassroots that are participating in these elections because they are the members of the party. They are the ones that pay their subscriptions to be members of the APC. The moment we cross this stage and we are able to elect our executive, we now focus on rolling out a national program to the people of this country, that this is what the APC will do when we come to office. And then even those who are now not members of the party, if they buy into our national program, and then they will elect us to run this country. So for us, I think it is important that we are able to complete our internal democratic processes, quickly enough. So these elections are important for us to complete so that we are able to put together a formidable team that will represent these same grassroots, a formidable team that will now be responsible to engage these same grassroots, at those levels. Because don't forget, we are also, guided by laws. We are also in existence as a result of the law. So these executives that are in place, they have timelines. From ward level, they have timeline. Constituency level, they have timeline. So we have to be able that we also abide by the laws. Otherwise, we'll be found wanting by the PPRC. And the penalties are there. So, we cannot, isolate any of these activities that we are on. We have teams that have spent quite a lot of time in trying to talk to people to come on board. Don't forget, we had the Samsumana issue that has been resolved. We have people who have been engaging everybody from Dr. Samura Kamara to other players who feel, they are dissatisfied with certain aspects of what have happened. You have people who have been engaging them. There are several meetings that have been called, but we also have a responsibility as a leadership of the party to ensure that we continue to position our party in preparation for the next general elections.
CD, don't you think the internal political dynamics is shaping the way, these elections are held and on? I'm asking because, as we know, we have candidates who've stated, their intention to run for the flag bearer. And, conducting these ward elections, constituency elections, at the end of the day, and the National Convention and the executive who will give us the flag bearer. And these people are influential when it comes to, you know, who they would want to be in the delegates to vote them to become flag bearer. Don't you think these dynamics are influencing the election itself?
Well, it will seem so. Of course, you have people who are spending a lot of money, but then you also have people who are very influential in their localities. So those dynamics will play. But I'll tell you also that the internal political party dynamics, you know, are so fluid. They change regularly. You know, so that is why, for me, I always say it is way too early to determine that. I'll tell you that people have spent a lot of money that I'm aware of from the registration to now. But I'll also say some of those probably will sit back and start evaluating whether, in fact, the results that they are having now, you know, are commensurate to the amount of money that they've spent. For us, we are happy that the democratic process is happening. We are happy that people are involved, because all of these will help energize the party base. When they go out there to campaign to people, when they go out there to roll out their programs, they call meeting of APC members. Whatever resources they spend, these resources are going to APC members. So they are helping energize the base of the party. You know, but we are guiding the process also to ensure that we stay within the confines of the laws and we stay within the confines of the provisions of the Constitution.
Before
of
you
the
go,
APC.
CD, I would like to ask, how confident is the All People's Congress in winning the 2028 elections?
My dear, we are more than confident, you know.
And what makes you so confident?
I know, you know, there is nothing this government has done that has given the confidence of the people of Sierra Leone to vote them in again. And I know we have better programs. We handed power to them. The people of this country know how this country was, you know, before President Julius Maada Bio took over in 2018. They know where the country is now. You know, they are struggling. We know that. And that is why we want to conclude these programs, our internal processes quickly enough so that we can roll out our national programs. And then the people of Sierra Leone will be able to see the clear difference between us and the current administration.
In 2023, the All People's Congress Party still claims they won. And yet, it is not their candidate that is in State House. What's going to change in 2028?
The All People's Congress did state, as also with all local and international observers, that no one won the 2023 elections on the first ballot.
Okay.
That is our position. And we hold that position, we'll maintain that.
So what will change in 2028?
Well, let's see.
How confident are you in the processes leading to the 2028 elections that will not permit that to repeat?
That is why we are pushing for electoral reforms aggressively, and for us, that is what electoral justice is.
And quite recently, you were pushing for the removal of Edmund Alpha, but it's as if that's a far-fetched thing now.
We are pushing for electoral reforms.
Not inclusive of Edmund Alpha's removal.
Including the total restructuring of the ECS.
Which includes the removal of Edmund Alpha.
Well, let us allow the restructuring process to go through. Let us allow the reforms to go through.
Does that include the removal
At
of
the
Edmund
end of the
Alpha?
day, we'll come back and have this discussion.
Right, let's look at the comments so far on Facebook. Mystic from Dwazak says, in any election, there are always challenges, even when it is organized properly. Just that some people are making petitions based on personal interest to bring dispute within their political parties as a result of their ego. And Ambassador Paul Mapikin says the issues about resolution and unity, what mechanisms has the party set up to handle dispute, protests, or petitions arising from grassroots or district elections? How does the leadership plan to reconcile competing factions within the APC during this transition to ensure that the party emerges more unified? And He goes on further to say, the common salon man questions about inclusivity. How will the party ensure that grassroots members have a genuine voice in selecting local leaders rather than executive decisions being handed down from Freetown? What specific strategies or quotas are built into this restructuring plan to increase the active representation of young people and women within both local and national executive structure, Mr. Tunis? And Mystic also says, in every election, challenges are inevitable, even when the process is well organized. However, some individuals deliberately use internal party elections to derail the progress of the political party. I believe the executive of the All People's Congress, APC, and the IEMC should work proactively to address these challenges ahead of the upcoming internal elections. And Ambassador Paul Mampikin is asking, Mr. Tunis, how will you communicate these structural changes to the general public to build trust and show the party's readiness for future governance? And also, he asks, how do you ensure the average voter at ward level feels that this is their party and not just an executive party? And Hawa Mariam is saying, thank you, Director Lucian, for always providing political education on processes. Those are the comments so far.
I mean, a big thank you. It shows people are following. And, you know, allowing, you know, the entire membership of the party to vote at this level is in itself, you know, letting the grassroots, letting the people participate in the whole process of electing their leaders to, you know, govern, you know, the party at the level of the ward. So for us, that is the most important part, is because it is really the ward executive that interacts with the people on a daily basis because they live in the same community. That is why, in fact, it is a must that for you to contest in any ward, you have to live in that ward. You know, in fact, one of the petition ruling by the PPRC was that. So you had two people that contested in the ward and they did not live there. So the PPRC overturned their winning, and then the runners up were, you know, brought up to occupy those offices. So it is important for us. And we were deliberate to do that because we really wanted the people to be part of the party, you know, to change this notion that they had in the past, that it is the executive that elect people for us or that select people for us. So them coming in now to elect their own leaders for us, I think is very important because, you know, when you are part of the process, you are excited to work even harder to make the process better and stronger, and that is what this is all about.
All right, Lucian, finally, what will be the message from PPRC to political parties?
Well, the message from PPRC is very simple. If you are not satisfied with any process, there are structures within the political party, you know, that you can exhaust. And those structures are to be strengthened. That is why after the 2020 elections, again, we developed what we call the dispute resolution guide. You know, because some of these structures, like the IEMC, that particular structure is being voted for at the NDC, and they can exist until they are removed by the NDC. So my message is very clear, or the message of the Commission is very clear. Let's keep the peace, and let's, you know, use the structures within the political party to address their issues.
All right, thank you very much, Lucian Momo, Director of External Relations at the Political Parties Regulation Commission, and CDI Tunis, National Publicity Secretary of the All People's Congress Party. Let's take a quick commercial break, and then when we come back, we go into our second segment of the show.
More and more people are using Wakeup SIM Copper Plus in their everyday lives. Did you hear that? She just transferred money for her daughter's school fees. And this man just paid for some products. Ah, Mr. Abu, are you sending money to your wife again?
Yes, Wakeup SIM Copper.
Ah.
Yes, like having money in my pocket.
Ah, excellent.
Thank you.
He just bought some eggs. The world is digital, so keep up with the times. Have you got a payment to make? If so, just download Wakeup SIM Couple Plus now. You can download the Wakeup SIM Couple Plus app from Apple iStore and iPad or Google Play Store for Android users. You see, it's fast, safe and reliable.
Sorry, car, go see some business partners.
You didn't give me my money, Michael. Can if I can say you give me this capital, not to in Andy. Today you pay me my money. I don't send it for let you help me send money in Ghana. 2 weeks now you not send me money and 10 you not give me back my money. Today you give me my money.
You know ever sabi goodness in life. I send back your money, but trust me, today na the very last day I ever send money for now.
I don't need your help because I don't know so with Afri money. I able send money. Now Baku Africa countries them with Afri money. We able send money to over 10 African countries, whether it's Ghana, Gambia, Liberia, or Kenya. If me party we know this, we not for the body grammar right now.
Okay, una go regret. I mean now una go regret.
The best part right now, Michael, with Afri money, you dey able send money even if you not use app, even if you know the online directly. All you need for do, you just a dial *161#. Pam, your money don't go. So I don't need the help again. Thief man.
Thank you.
Send money to instantly with Afri Money. No stress, no excuses. Just dial *161*1*6# now. Afri Money, quick and easy.
You're still watching or listening to Wake Up Sierra Leone on AYV television and radios. Don't forget to send in your comments and ask your questions to the AYV News Facebook page. Next to entertainment, this weekend, a blockbuster movie will be officially premiered as the AYV Films is set to captivate audiences with its upcoming production, The Measure of a Man, a deeply moving cinematic experience that explores the true essence of manhood beyond surface definitions.
At its core, the film asks a compelling question: what truly defines a man? Through a gripping narrative woven into emotion and realism, the story delves into themes of love, ambition, sacrifice, and the life-altering decision that shape personal identity. As the characters' lives become increasingly intertwined, tensions rise, and of course, every choice carries profound consequences, leaving a lasting impact on their future.
The film features standout performances from Fabian Swill, Peter Kamba, Sword Baidun, and Leone Osinachi, bringing depth and authenticity to this powerful story. As behind the scenes, the project is driven by the creative vision of producer Afam John and director Emma Anyaka, whose collaboration promises a compelling and thought-provoking production. Joining us in the studios to talk about the premiering, among other things, we have one of the lead cast, Sword Baidun, Housemates Saloon Season 4 winner. Good morning, Sword.
Good morning.
And of course, before we come over to Sword, we have a package of the movie and the premiering. Let's take a look at that before we come into the studio.
The Measure of a Man, an AYV Films production, is a gripping and emotional story centered on love, ambition, sacrifice, and the choices that shape human destiny. As relationships grow more complicated and tensions rise, every decision carries consequences that could change lives forever.
Because the way a man handles a situation in the presence of the woman he wants to end up with helps to boost her confidence and gives her room to study his emotional capabilities.
The film shines a spotlight on Housemaid Salon Season 4 winner Suad by Dawn and also features Peter Komba alongside several other talented actors from Sierra Leone and Nigeria.
I don't want to ever see Timmy in this house. I need to rest. I need to freshen up. Big point of correction. I've never dated two men at the same time.
The movie delivers a compelling blend of drama, emotion, and powerful storytelling. The film is set to be officially launched on Saturday, 30th of May 2026 at AYV Media Empire.
Are you okay? They love to travel around the world, they love gifts, and they love to have fun.
Perfect match. You can see it from your color, your hair, his fair. A proper sharp Gen Z for you.
With its strong cast, emotional depth, and captivating storyline, The Measure of a Man is expected to leave a lasting impression on audiences while further showcasing the growth and potential of Sierra Leone's film industry.
When your heart finds love with someone, you do not need any seer to tell you.
Anna Yangsin, AYV News, Freetown.
Many thanks to Hannah Yangsin there for that report. And of course, later on in the show, we shall bring you the trailer of the movie. Alima.
Good morning, Swad, and welcome.
Thank you for having me.
First of all, congratulations for being part of this blockbuster.
Thank you.
How did you feel when you were selected as the lead cast?
I felt good. It was exciting because acting is actually something, I've been wanting to do for a very long time, and giving this opportunity, I must say, it's good.
Is this your first movie?
Professional movie. I've actually done one for the late Jamil Sise.
Oh, okay.
It was just a small role.
Oh, I see, okay. So tell us about your character in this movie.
So in this movie, the character is Nana. Nana is a young girl, because with no mom, but with a dad and aunt. Nana is a career woman, is somebody that is very, very pretty and smart. And Nana is somebody that is taught to, not based on the amount of money they have, but how it treats you as a woman. And yeah.
So I see that there's a collaboration between Sierra Leone and Nigeria. There are some Nigerian actors and Sierra Leonean actors alike. What was it like collaborating with people from a completely different culture and all that?
It wasn't easy. The fact that it was my very first time
and
being on a professional set. They're professionals.
Exactly.
Yes,
they've been doing just a certain time.
Yes. Yeah. It was tough, but they were very nice to me. They would come up to me and say, it's okay. Our first times were like this. You would get used to it. It's okay and stuff. So, with time, it was easy on set.
Are you intending to make this a career thing, or it's just a one-time or one-off thing for you?
No, it's not a one-time thing. It's something I look forward to doing.
So we're going to be seeing more of Swad Biden, in movies, collaborating, and even in Sierra Leone. What should we expect after this project?
Another movie, maybe.
I have to say, I've just seen the trailer, by the way, but it's quite impressive. Mm-hmm. What you did is quite impressive. Your tone, facial and body language and all that. And acting with professionals who have been doing it for some time, I can understand it's not an easy thing. And I'm sure you have this opportunity because you were, of course, the Housemaid winner, and this is AYV Films, am I correct? So after AYV Films, are you going to push? Because we see that somebody like Peter Komba, is that his name? Mm-hmm. He had to relocate to Nigeria before we start seeing him in movies, and now he's a star. Are you thinking along that line?
Like I said, this is something
considering the status of the movie industry in Sierra Leone at the moment.
Yeah.
So tell us, what should we expect? Are you thinking along the line of relocating, and am I pushing you to say things you really don't want to say today?
So I think all I have to say for now is this is something I want to do, and this is something I'll continue to do. So people should just, stay connected.
Tell us about the premiere. What do we need to know?
It's happening on the 30th of May, this Saturday. And obviously, people, they know AYV, so it's taking place at the AYV Hall. And at 7 p.m., red carpet will be going on. So buy your tickets and be here on Saturday.
How much is the ticket?
So regular is like 100 leones, and you have table for 10,000 leones going upwards.
Let's talk a bit about the title of the movie, The Measure of a Man. I am, as a literature student, I'm interpreting this in my head. In your own words, what does this mean? The measure of a man. What does it mean to you? Are you measuring us?
So, for me, I feel like being a woman, if you're pretty, you're going to have suitors. Different type of men. You would have the ones that are loving, caring, that are very serious about the future, whether it's investment or having a family with you. And then you have others who just want to have fun. So this is you being able to sit, connecting the dots. Who do I want to be with? Observe and make sure you make the right choices, right? So if, in the movie, for instance, I had two men. The one, obviously, he's very hardworking. He's serious. He respects me. And then you have the other one. He likes to go to the club. He likes showing off, acting like disrespectful, right? Buying gifts and stuff. And for me, the little things matters.
In the movie, or you
in the
yourself?
movie? in the movie.
But these are things women struggle with, right? The issue of making decision, measuring a man. Who is a man? Is it the workaholic, the strict man? Is it this?
I think women, we all want something different.
Will I connect to that theme?
Bakari, honestly, I doubt. At this point.
No?
Knowing what I know, I doubt if Bakari will connect to that.
The reason why I'm asking that is because the movie asks a question from the title itself. What truly defines a man? What do you think audiences who would come to the premiere on Saturday, what answer will they get? The measure of a man. What defines a man? I know the movie has portrayed the measure of a man, but what do you think, looking at the themes we've spoken about, love, sacrifice, what do you think audience will take away from that day?
So, personally, first of all, I want to, relate myself. When I read the script, in fact, when we're acting the movie, I learned a lot. As a woman or as a young girl who is still coming up. So when we're in our 20s, would feel like, the best men are the ones, that spends money, that gives gifts and stuff. But as you grow older, you just want someone who respects you, somebody who is very thoughtful. Sometimes you don't have to give me the whole world for me to know that you love me. Just the little things. For instance, if I am struggling with something about work, maybe a book, right? And you're able to find me that book is very important for me. And not the one who always feels like money is the most important thing. Money can solve every little problem, or money is happiness and stuff. So being happy with someone doesn't mean that, you know, they have to be very, very rich. You have to put yourself first. You have to find somebody who respects you, who values you. And by that way, I mean, you've won in life.
And let's talk a bit about the cast and the production. You know, you worked alongside, you know, actors like Fabian Swill, you know, Peter Komba, which I know you guys already had chemistry before even the movie, and also Eronini Osinachi. What was the chemistry like on set? Me, I know I get now where are they on set.
Are you an actor too?
Was. But you know me not do it. So what was the chemistry like? What was the chemistry like?
You're an actor?
Was
Once an actor.
Was an actor, was a musician, was a rapper,
always Bakari. You should consider joining the AYV.
Yeah.
I think me and Peter, it was good, I would say. And of course, Phoebe was good as well. And you know, it was my first time being on set with Eronini. Yes.
Okay.
Eronini, so it was a bit difficult, but it was very encouraging. Like I said earlier, he would say, you know, calm down, let's do this. Don't worry, take your time, read your script. Because I was really nervous. I'm like, what he thinks I'm wasting his time on set? You know, when it's time to react. Because naturally, when I'm angry, I would react differently. But when you're acting movies, you have to like really show that you're angry. So the director would say, no, show me that you're angry. I said, this is how I act when I'm angry. No, it doesn't seem that you're angry. It's a movie. Come and you know, it was difficult at first, but the cast on set, they were encouraging.
And earlier on, Alima asked you, you know, what does this mean to your personal growth and your career? Many people know you from the Housemate reality TV show. Other people know you from your time as a presenter at SLBC. How important is this acting? Are we going to see, even if it's not a career shift, but a career alignment, to say we'll therefore see more of Swad on TVs, you know, in movies?
So this is very important to me because, like I said, even before going into Housemates, this is something I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to be in movies and stuff. So, yeah, that's it. It's important. And I'm not going to stop here, obviously. I feel like I'm going to continue acting until I get to the peak where I'm successful.
What would you refer to as success in this context?
Okay, so when you finally start, you know, to get on big sets with big actresses and actors, when you start getting paid.
Oh, weren't you paid for this one?
Big.
Okay,
I'm just a starter. This is actually the first. So I'm talking about when you really get to that peak as a professional, and then people start calling you to their sets, giving you a lot of money.
So that will be success for you. Okay, so for those people watching you now, and they might want to be a part of the premiering of this blockbuster, how can they get tickets and find their way to the venue?
Okay, I'm gonna have to check my phone.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes.
So, can I go ahead and read this so I don't give out the wrong information? VIP table for 7 is 10,000 leones. For 5 is 7,000 leones. Time is 7 p.m. Date is on Saturday, 30th of May, 2026. Venue, AYV Hall at AYV Media, Empire, 3 Wesley Street off Bademba Road. And if you want to get a ticket, contact +232 30 99 9019.
So are the international actors coming too? Will they be present at the premiere?
They're not confirmed.
But you're trying to get them to come? Are you making efforts for
I'm
them?
only a cast.
Well, I'm talking about the entire...
If I'm making an effort for them to come.
No, not to you as a person.
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know.
She's available.
Well, she just said they've not confirmed. So I'm off the notion that you tried, but...
I said we have not confirmed.
Oh, okay.
And that isn't my role. I'm just a cast, so I don't know whatever production
she is confirmed for the premiere.
I am confirmed.
Yeah, I know she's confirmed.
I don't know about the international ones because they would have to get tickets to come to Sierra Leone and stuff.
And what will your fans? What can they expect from you after this project? Are we going to see you in more movies? Or are you going to sing for us? Or you are some artists? This might be the first step. Who knows? Probably since we'll see our album from Swad.
Yeah, so obviously after this one, we have another project I'll be going for. And apart from acting movies, there's another thing I said I had passion for education. And I'm coming up with a national debate competition for universities and essay competition for secondary school pupils. Yes, so they should also look forward to that.
All right, continue to stay with us. I think we have the trailer of the movie, The Measure of a Man. Let's take that quickly. And then when we come back, we try to wrap up as we're going to have a live coverage after Wakeup Sierra Leone. But let's look at the trailer quickly.
Is a gripping and emotional story centered on love, ambition, sacrifice, and the choices that shape human destiny. As relationships grow more complicated and tensions rise, every decision carries consequences that could change lives forever.
Because the way a man handles a situation in the presence of the woman he wants to end up with helps to boost her confidence and gives her room to study his emotional capabilities.
The film shines a spotlight on Housemaid Salon Season 4 winner Swad by Dawn and also features Peter Komba alongside several other talented actors from Sierra Leone and Nigeria.
I don't want to ever see Timmy in this house. I need to rest. I need to freshen up. Big point of correction. I've never dated two men at the same time.
The movie delivers a compelling blend of drama, emotion, and powerful storytelling. The film is set to be officially launched on Saturday, 30th of May 2026 at AYV Media Empire.
Are you okay?
They love to travel around the world, they love gifts, and they love to have fun.
Perfect match. You can see him from your color, your hair, he's fair. A proper sharp Gen Z for you.
With its strong cast, emotional depth, and captivating storyline, The Measure of a Man is expected to leave a lasting impression on audiences while further showcasing the growth and potential of Sierra Leone's film industry.
When your heart finds love with someone, you do not need any seer to tell you.
Anna Yankson, The Measure of a Man, an AYV Films production, is a gripping and emotional story centered on love, ambition, sacrifice, and the choices that shape human destiny. As relationships grow more complicated and tensions rise, every decision carries consequences that could change lives forever.
Because the way a man handles a situation in the presence of the woman he wants to end up with helps to boost her confidence and gives her room to study his emotional capabilities.
The film shines a spotlight on Housemaid Salon Season 4 winner Swad by Dawn and also features Peter Komba alongside several other talented actors from Sierra Leone and Nigeria.
I don't want to ever see Timmy in this house. I need to rest. I need to freshen up. Big point of correction. I've never dated two men at the same time.
The movie delivers a compelling blend of drama, emotion, and powerful storytelling. The film is set to be officially launched on Saturday, 30th of May 2026 at AYV Media Empire.
Are you okay?
They love to travel around the world, they love gifts, and they love to have fun.
Perfect match. You can see him from your color, your hair, he's fair. A proper sharp Gen Z for you.
With its strong cast, emotional depth, and captivating storyline, The Measure of a Man is expected to leave a lasting impression on audiences while further showcasing the growth and potential of Sierra Leone's film industry.
When your heart finds love with someone, you do not need any seer to tell you.
Anna Yangsin, AYV News.
Because the way a man handles a situation in the presence of the woman he wants to end up with helps to boost her confidence and gives her room to study his emotional capabilities, which eventually leads her to be comfortable.
Oh my God. Are you okay? They love to travel around the world, they love gifts, and they love to have fun.
Perfect match. You can see from your color, your hair, he's fair. A proper sharp Gen Z for you.
Dating two men at the same time, and you can't make a decision about it, that's so irresponsible.
I think there's another man in the picture trying to make her as a woman.
I don't want to ever see Timmy in this house. I need to rest. I need to freshen up.
He's my father.
Are you some Donald son? Big point of correction. I've never dated two men at the same time.
When your heart finds love with someone, you do not need any seer to tell you.
Alright, welcome back. That's the trailer for the movie The Measure of a Man, premiering this Saturday at AYV.
Well, I'm afraid that is where we'll draw the curtains down. We want to say thank you very much, Swad, for joining us on the show today. I don't know if you have something to say as a parting shot before we draw the curtains down on the show.
Your personal invitation to your fans.
First of all,
if na doctor, una can support me.
So first of all, I would like to say thank you so much for having me, and obviously to my fans or the people who have been supporting me throughout this journey. Please don't forget to show up. If even you don't want to buy a table, buy ordinary tickets just for $100. But please, guys, make sure you be present for my first professional movie. And trust me, after watching the movie, I know I make more to what when I get for me, so proud of me as a first timer. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much, Swad, for joining us on the show this morning. Well, I'm afraid that's where we'll draw the curtains down on Wake Up Sierra Leone. Today, we want to say thank you to our sponsor, Wakeup Commercial Bank, for their support of the program, and to our audience, we want to say we love you and continue to stay tuned to AYV.
And you are?
Alimatu George.
She's Alimatu George. I am Bokari Matia. Continue to watch AYV throughout the day as well. We have other exciting programs coming up. Till we meet again, do have a blessed day.
Only they can see where the